check out the best views you're going to get of the Harbour Bridge in Sydney, and you can only get that from north part of Sydney. That's where we are today. How cool is that? Alright fam, welcome to episode 4 of Destination Fitness with Carlos's Discover Sydney series. And as you can see, I'm at North Sydney, on the northern end of the city. Very rarely do people come down here, even people that live here. But what you can tell from this side of the city, guys, what a view you've got of the city when you're on the northern side. So we're going to explore North Sydney a little bit, and this is Milson's Point. And as you can see, the ferries stop right here as well. So transport-wise, I'll explain a little bit how easy it is to get around this area. But here we are, guys, North Sydney, episode 4, Discover Sydney. Okay guys, when you come to North Sydney, as you can see behind me, that smiling face is Luna Park. So many kids have come to this point, guys. This was opened in 1935, one of the oldest remaining parks of this nature in the world. 1935, guys, so let's take a little walk through. And this is, as soon as you get off at Milson's Point, this is one of the most famous spots of northern part of Sydney. Let's check it out. Now guys, as you can see behind me, Coney Island. So Luna Park was built in 1935 here in Sydney. So it's one of the oldest surviving relics of the Art Deco era of amusement parks. And as you can see, it's quiet at the moment. I've actually come as it's just opened. So it's literally just after 10 a.m. It's literally just open, and it's a weekday, so there's not many people here at the moment, which is great. It will also be very hard to film here. But as you can see, as soon as you get off the train or the ferry at Milson's Point, North Sydney, this is a very famous part. This is a place where I've brought my kids many times. Got the Harbour Bridge just there. But again, guys, beautiful little amusement park since 1935. But there was a point where there was a fire here in the late 1970s. I think it was 1979. And quite a few people died in the fire because it's such an old amusement park. They didn't have all the necessary equipment to help the people in the fire. A lot of children died, actually. I think 6 children in this fire in 1979, which closed the Luna Park down for many years. I mean, I think it was close to 20-something years. It was just closed down. It was just boarded up for years. You'd come down to North Sydney, this will be all boarded up. And then they reopened, I think, in the 1990s, if I'm not mistaken. And look how beautiful it is now, guys. But like I said, very quiet at the moment because it just opened for the morning. But a great place to come and visit as well when you come to Sydney. Okay guys, as you can see behind me, the ferries stop right here, Milson's Point. Luna Park was just there. We're right underneath the Harbour Bridge. And that's one of the beauties of northern part of Sydney. You've got access to the part of Sydney. The train goes over the bridge, which is what I've come on the train. The ferries stop right here. The buses come right down here as well. And the city is just over the harbour there. So again, it's a great little spot to come and visit and explore a little bit, northern part of the city. And one thing that I love about coming to the northern part of Sydney and being on the harbour, guys, it shows you how busy the harbour is. It's just activity everywhere. You've got the ferries doing their usual route. It's like a normal public transportation route. Ferries, people go all along North Sydney, going into the city. Circular Quay's just there. You've got a big cruise ship. This is the cruising season in Sydney. So the cruise ships are coming in and out every week. There's just activities everywhere. You've got private boats on the harbour. You've got little fishing boats on the harbour. So people fishing on the harbour. So it's just activity everywhere. People walking, running. So northern part of Sydney, I love it, guys. And the other thing is, you won't get a better view of the bridge and of the city than you will from this side of the city. And this is where, when you look at your fireworks every New Year, Sydney usually gets it first, and there's a bridge that usually goes off. Okay fam, the other great thing about northern part of the Sydney, when you're walking along the harbour foreshore, there's all apartments and buildings everywhere, and a lot of those buildings you can see just there. I mean, the sun's at the back of them, so you can't see the front, but it's a very European style buildings, and they're right on the water. You won't get properties like that much in Sydney, on the water like that, overlooking the city, the Harbour Bridge, and the Opera House, which is just over there, and the fireworks. Obviously they've got the fireworks, but these apartments, guys, you think you're in Europe. Reminds me a little bit of Italy, when you're on the rivers in Italy there. But again, you only find this on this side of the city, because on that side you don't really get it so much until you go eastern part of Sydney. So again, when you explore Sydney, you've got this foreshore wall on the harbour, and it goes all the way around to Kirribilli. Okay guys, one thing you find in North Sydney, I showed you right next to the station where a lot of businesses were in Luna Park. This side is all residential, so it's residential area right on the water, and a lot of the buildings like this one here behind me called the Venetian looks very European, and I think they've styled it based on the fact that they're on the water. And I don't know if you can see from here guys, the harbour is literally just there. The Opera House is just through those trees there, so you can see all the city from the front of these buildings, and they're right on the water, which is the ones I was showing you from the other side. But if you look guys, a lot of residential apartments here, and the thing is a lot of really old apartments as well, so a lot of history here as well, similar to the rocks on the other side. Anywhere you go on the harbour will be an old area, because they're the first developed areas. But North Sydney again is one of the older areas of Sydney, so it's a great place to explore again. And I'll take you down to the harbour itself now, a little walk. Okay fam, now I've got down towards the harbour here. Now those buildings, as you can see, look where they sit, right on the water, and you can see the bridge there just behind me. But this is actually a stop for the ferries. So, as I was explaining previously, all along the northern foreshore of the harbour here, on the northern part of Sydney, there's ferry stops all along the way, so you don't even need a car to live on this side if you wanted to of the city. You get the ferries, they stop all the way around, just like buses would stop on your public transport. It is a public transport route. And then the city is literally just over there, so Circular Quay is just over there. The ferries stop along here and go to Circular Quay, just like buses would. And as you can see behind me guys, look at that. They're right on the water. And people here fishing and doing different things as well. Like I said, a lot of activity on the harbour. But look at that guys, look at the views. You see the ship there, the cruise ship as I was saying. It's an amazing spot, and not many people come here guys, even people that live in Sydney. Very few of us actually come to the northern part of Sydney. But there's a lot to see and explore here guys. It's really an amazing part of Sydney. Okay fam, and as you can see, like I said before, a lot of residential areas around here, all residential buildings, old buildings, very expensive, I've got to add as well. But the reason I'm taking you up here, we're in the Kirribilli part of North Sydney, which again is just on the northern beaches, just after Milson's Point, where we come from underneath the Harbour Bridge. And the reason I'm taking you here is very important. At Kirribilli, you see this fence here? How tall is it? Let me get on the top step. It's not that tall. There. You see that? That in there is where the Prime Minister of Australia officially lives, official residence. Yet people live here, right next door. Your neighbour is the Prime Minister of Australia. And their top levels there can see right into the yard. And the reason I say it's very Australian is because I don't think there are many places in the world where the official residence of the leader of the country, you can actually pretty much live right next door to them. It's pretty unusual. It's called Kirribilli House. Now there's two official residences of the leader of the country. One is in Canberra, which is the capital of Australia. And I say Canberra, capital of Australia, because a lot of people don't even realise Canberra is the capital of Australia. A lot of people think Sydney is. People from overseas, obviously. But Canberra is the capital of Australia, which is about 2.5, nearly 3 hours from this part of Sydney. But the Prime Minister, that's where they live, there. And I'll show you something else which is pretty impressive. You could live just across the road. And he lives here when Parliament isn't in. There's another residence where Parliament, you've got the Federal Police, which look out for him. And that's where they live, inside there. And when I say he lives in there, family, there's a lot of functions that they have in there when dignitaries come from overseas. But what I find amazing about this place is, and it's beautiful, it's right on the harbour as well, but you can actually live across the road. I mean, literally across the road. You can see these cars here. There's only space for one car to go up there. So these are official residences. And again, very few places in the world where you could live across the road from the official leader of the country. And that's Kirribilli House. That's what it looks like inside. And there's cameras all around here, obviously, so they'll be watching me, wondering, what's this guy up to? Filming the Prime Minister's residence. But for people that don't live in Australia, this is very Australian. I mean, how can you imagine British Prime Minister or Putin or whoever? I'm sure even the countries that you're from, you probably can't just live right across the road. But in Australia you can. But again, that's Kirribilli House, and that's where the Prime Minister lives when they're not in Parliament. He comes down here, which is quite a number of months in the year, mind you. Parliament only runs for a few months of the year. And guys, when you explore the North Shore, northern parts of Sydney, a lot of stairs, be wary. You go down to the harbour, which is just down here, where I'm taking you now, but you start from up the top because it's like a hill, it goes all the way up. So this channel is also about health and wellness, as you're aware of a lot of my older videos. This is part of your health and wellness when you come and explore and discover Sydney. A lot of walking up this way, guys. And I'm still next door to the Prime Minister's residence, mind you, but check it where they live, guys. Wow, right on the harbour there. And all that area, I know the sun's flashing in that area there, but all that area is still part of North Sydney. Now, I'm not heading down that way, simply because to get down there, I can't really walk down there. There's so many hills and so many inlets where the harbour goes in, that it would take forever. You need a car really to go down there. But this is just the immediate area of North Sydney along the harbour. But I'll take you all the way down to the water's edge. Again, a lot of walking, guys, a lot of hills. It's great if you want to look after yourself and discover Sydney and have a bit of exercise as well. You'll definitely get that. I'm already getting a bit of sweat on me already. But here I am, guys, right on the water now. Don't know if you can see that notice there on that wall. Commonwealth of Australia, trespassing on this land is prohibited. Funnily enough, who owns the land, them or the Aboriginal people? The Aboriginal people should be saying trespassing is prohibited. But anyway, that's another story, another video I'll do another day. But here you go, guys, we're right on the harbour, right on the water's edge. And again, you've got the naval ships just down here. A lot of activity again on the harbour. Helicopters flying around quite often because obviously they're checking on the residents. And look at all the sandstone, guys. So this is really hard sandstone rock, which the northern Sydney and Sydney along the foreshore of the harbour is built into. But again, guys, beautiful part of Sydney. And again, guys, I was saying how it looks very European around this way. And if you look at these buildings with their balconies, again, very European. And like I said, a lot of these places here were built many years ago. So there's a lot of history, obviously European history. But it's very beautiful, guys. And then, like I said, look at that. You come through there and straight through there, Opera House, the city. Unfortunately, on the camera, it makes it look further away, but it almost looks like it's touching distance, the Opera House there. But like I said, these guys, and look, up here, guys, they go up the hill even higher, so they can see all of that there. But beautiful place, guys. But like I said, explore, 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 discover. Even people that live in Sydney. I've said to a few of you guys, especially the ones that are from overseas, a lot of people that live in Sydney, they don't even come down here. I know people that have never been to Kirribilli House. So it's a great day out. Sun's behind me there, so you can't see those buildings properly, but yeah, all these little houses, guys, little cottages right here on the harbour. Okay, family, as you can see behind me there, when you come out at Milson Point station, when you get to North Sydney, there's all little cafes, all little restaurants, all along the roadside here. Not big, it's still an old style. They've kept the like the area looking very original, but they've just got all these little shops all the way down here, going all the way back. So it's very nice. Like, it's not overdeveloped, not on this side anyway. You've got all the main buildings on the other side where where the Luna Park and all that is, and the North Sydney itself is a big business district. As you can see, guys, the area down there, still very old-fashioned, I should say, not just old-fashioned, but I like it. It's kept it very original, and that's Milson Point station right there. So that's where you get off the train when you're going to come to this part of Sydney and discover it a little bit. Now, I don't know if you can see up the top up there, those buildings there, that's North Sydney. So that's actually North Sydney, and that's where all the main businesses are down there. Like I said, guys, as you exit the station, when you're on this side of the station, looks like you're in some resort town near the beach somewhere. So compared to the other side, which is still very old-fashioned, this is the modern part. But it's really nice, and there's a lot of apartments here, beautiful apartments with views all the way to the city, the bridge. Very expensive, obviously, but very nice. Okay, fam, so I've lived in Australia since 1973. I wasn't born here, but I've lived here since 73. And basically, in all that time, I have never walked across the Harbour Bridge. From either one end of the city to this end, or from the northern end of the city to the other end. So today, instead of getting the train, I'm going to walk across the bridge, guys. So I'll try and film a little bit as I walk across there. I know it can get windy on the bridge because you've got the wind coming from the heads on the harbour. But I hope you enjoy this video, guys, this little adventure, little trip, little discovery of Sydney on the northern part of the city. But now it's time for me to walk across the bridge, and I'll film a little bit there. Hopefully it's not too windy. If it is, I'll just put some music on so you can see that as well. Okay, fam, so that's a wrap. And as you can see, that's the train station. It's over the entrance to the bridge. So you go down there to the Harbour Bridge, main roads on each side of the train station, which is pretty interesting. But there's the views of North Sydney down there. But I'm heading this way because my health and wellness, which is part of this channel as well, guys, Destination Fitness with Carlos, as well as showing you these beautiful places, is to look after your health and well-being. So instead of getting the train back, which would make it a lot easier to get back to the city, I'm going to walk over the bridge. Like I said, I've never done it before, so this will be something new for me as well. But anyway, it's a first for me because I'm doing this channel, so I'm really enjoying that as well. Okay, let's go, guys. When I get over the bridge, I'll do some videos, but I'll probably need to put music on there because I can feel the breeze, which is beautiful. As you can see, it's pretty hot today, but it's going to be pretty warm, so the breeze up there should be pretty cool, but it might make a lot of noise in the camera, so I'll probably put some music on in the background. But I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Okay, fam, that's the bridge behind me. I'm nearly at the end. Not as windy here as what I thought. Beautiful views of the Opera House down here and of the ship that's currently in here. Like I said, cruising season in Sydney now. Every week or every few days there's a ship. But look at the activity on the harbour. Sailing boats, ferries, jet craft. Oh geez, private boats. Amazing. And look at that city. Wow, guys. So, first for me, walked over the Harbour Bridge. 14 people died building this bridge, and there's the most steel I think used on this bridge than any other place in the world. But anyway, just some little facts, but that's my video for the day, guys. Let me finish off this walk and get back to the city. By the way, there's 8 lanes of traffic here, two tracks for the trains, one going south, one going north. This is the walking section. On the other side is where you cycle. So the bridge is pretty useful, guys. A lot of things can be done here. And you see all this stuff here? Very necessary, because one sad fact about the bridge, quite a few people have committed suicide off here. And it's about 51 meters off the ocean. So I'll tell you what, if you hit the water jumping off this, it'll be like hitting concrete. So a lot of people have committed suicide off this bridge as well. Some little facts for you there, guys. I just thought I'd throw that in. Although we're talking about North Sydney today, some facts about that bridge as well.